Welcome back to Idea Primer. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to draw your very own spooky tree. So get in the fall spirit, grab a pencil and a piece of paper because we are going to dive right into it. Our first step is to draw the trunk of the tree. We'll do this by drawing two lines, however wide you want your tree to be. This is also when you determine where your tree is going to go on your paper. I'm drawing two trees in my example today to show you how the way we draw the branches can change the emotion or personality of our tree. The second step will be to continue those lines into what becomes the first set of branches. Think of these like arms. The more downturned they are, the more sad or scary they look, versus upturned branches, which are more energetic. They don't call them weeping willow trees for nothing. Our next step is to draw additional lines inside of the trunk. And you're going to continue these just like you did before to be the shape of your next branches. These will become the main branches of your tree. Make as many lines as you want. And remember to stay true to that personality of your tree. So, my tree on the left, I want to look more sad, and the one on the right, I want to be more energetic. Look at examples of trees and think about how the different shape can change the way the tree makes you feel. To finish the shape of your branches, connect them to the line just to the left. And then as you go out, it's really important that you think about making your branches skinnier the farther out they go. Almost every single tree is widest at the trunk and gets only skinnier as they go out. This is something I see artists mess up, and then their trees end up looking a little bit unrealistic. And it's because they'll make the branches too wide compared to the trunk. Another way that you can play around with the personality of your tree is to change the line quality. So, my line quality on the right is pretty much straight lines, very confident strokes. And my tree on the left, I'm using more wobbly strokes and windy lines. To make your tree look full, it's important that you draw some branches behind your main branches, like I'm doing here on the left. This brings us to our next step, drawing the roots. The process for drawing our roots is exactly the same as drawing the branches, except you go a little bit shorter with your lines. Start by continuing your trunk lines into what will become the roots, and then you have to finish off the shape by connecting those roots to the line beside them. These can taper off much quicker than the branches do because they'll be covered by the ground. We want our trees to look like they're deeply rooted into the earth, which brings me to our next step. We are going to draw the ground. We'll keep it simple and start with a horizon line. The horizon line is that line where the sky meets the earth. Next, you're going to add a little bit of grass texture to the base. Our next step is to add the bark texture. We're going to do this by adding more lines using a lighter pen. Yes, you heard me correctly. We're going to add more lines to these trees. I'm just using a gray pen, but you could use like a ballpoint pen or just any lighter drawing utensil than you used for the first part. We're going to go around our branches, making directional curved lines that curve with the shape of the branches. These lines should continue all the way through the trunk as well. When you get to part of the tree that looks really knobby and it bends quickly like an elbow, there's a special way to do it. So watch closely. Start by making a circle curve on the elbow and work your way out from there. Here, let's do that again. Start with a circle curve, work your way out from there with those directional lines. This will give your tree more texture and just make it look like it's really windy. If you're not a huge fan of the directional curved lines, try doing a more wood grain texture like I'm doing here. The goal is just that you add a little bit more texture and dimension to your tree. The next step is to add some shading to our designs. We are going to just take a pencil and go in and darken up those initial lines that you drew in the first couple steps. This is going to give your tree a little bit more depth and look like each of those branches is curved. An alternative to this would be to draw even more lines within each section, like I did in this tree. Once you're all done, this basically becomes a coloring sheet. I decided to color in my sky bright yellow because I thought it would just pop and make those trees pop out. This is how it turned out. And now I'm sure you're asking, how do I do these tree designs with a face on them? So you're ready to level up your drawing and add a spooky face. Let's take a look at these three drawings and especially look at the eyes. Starting over on the right, that tree's eyes are basically just a widening of that first line. The next one has a little bit of texture in the eyes, but no mouth. And then you could go so far as to draw the face first and then just work your lines around it to create that face. Let's get into it. I recommend starting with a jack o' lantern style face for this drawing because it works really well. The first step is to draw your face. That's right, we're doing the face before we add the tree. And it's very, very helpful and will be much easier for you if all of your lines point upward or downward because we're going to just connect the parts of our face into the same kind of lines we used in the tree drawing in the first half of this video. So basically, your face just needs to be able to connect to those tree bark lines and become the branches. So watch as I integrate them into my branch design. And then once you have that drawn out, all of the steps are exactly like we did in the first half of the video. Any tree drawing deserves a finishing touch. Birds. You can draw simple checkmark birds, or you can draw their body as an oval and add any wings or beaks that you might be able to see. Comment below if you did your own tree drawing, and remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more art tutorials. Have a great day.